Hey everybody, I want you to think of the numbers as each playing a role within the royal court. So it's the royal court of numbers, and it is your job to fulfill your role within the court per your destiny number. Are you doing that? Let's find out. So if you're a number 1 destiny, then you are represented by the king in the royal court. And so it is your job to be a selfless leader. You would make a great manager, leader, president of a company, but you have to do so in a kind, stable, selfless way. And all that you are ultimately wanting is respect from other people. And so if you guide people towards their higher purpose in a benevolent way, you will command the respect that you are really wanting in this life. Number 2 is ruled by the queen in the court of numbers. And so think about what the queen does. She counsels the king. Other people in the court may not see this, but it is your job in this life to do that. So you can be a great counselor to others. You can be very compassionate and caring. You have this motherly energy about you, even if you do not identify as a woman. There is just this softness about you, and you're also very creative. And so you really need to take these things to heart and fulfill these things in life so that you can contribute to the greater good. Then number 3 is ruled by the guru. And so in this life, you need to teach others about the higher purpose. You are going to be optimistic and expansive, and you don't judge people, right? Because a guru never judges. He realizes that everyone has faults, but that everyone is also equal. And so he sees the good in everyone and understands that the bad is just a part of our existence in this material world. So as a number 3 guru, no matter what you are doing for work in life, you need to be there to mentor others and to lead them on their path. The number 4 in the court of numbers is the advisor. And so you are trying to create stability for yourself and others in this life, but it is your responsibility to do this in new ways, new ideas. You're very intelligent, and you have this way of coming up with ideas that are ahead of your time, these lightning bolt ideas that just come to you. And others may not think that they are going to work, but it's up to you to implement them. And then you can create stability, not only for others, but for yourself in this life as well. And then number 5 in the royal court of numbers is represented by the young prince. And so it's up to you in this life to always stay optimistic and young at heart. Not only will you live a better life, but other people are going to look to you to find happiness and newness, because this world can be difficult. And through your wit and your optimism and your childlike way of seeing the world around you, you're going to bring in new optimism. And so as a number 5 destiny, it's really important that you go out into the world and take your great ability to communicate and create new businesses, because you are very good at business. And also, if you are not making your own money, right? Because the prince cannot stay in the court forever, right? That he needs to go out and create his own way, create his own money. And so if you're not creating your own money currently, then you need to go out and do that. You need to make liquid assets for yourself, because the prince has so much to offer, but he needs to leave the court and go out on his own and create new business ventures and communicate all of these ideas to the world. And then number 6 in the court of numbers is represented by the artist. And so it's up to you in this life to be creative and to be artistic and to appreciate beauty and luxury and bring these into the world so that other people can appreciate them too, right? Because no matter when we live, there's always going to be darkness in the world, and you need to bring this beauty to the world. You are also an excellent teacher, and so you would make a great teacher of the arts as well. But even if it's not of the arts and it's perhaps of the sciences, you need to go and teach and be diplomatic in your teaching, because you are going to be the most diplomatic and charismatic of the numbers. And so go out and do this if you're not already doing it, and just know that eyes are on you. Because if you think about the royal court of numbers, when an artist would appear, everyone would stop and congregate around the artist and watch what they were painting. And so just know that a light is shining upon you, and so use it well. And number 7 within the court of numbers is represented by the philosopher. And so you understand so much depth and hidden secrets that are in this material world. And it is your responsibility, per your destiny number, to communicate these truths to other people. Now, this is going to be very different from number 3, Jupiter energy, because that's a bit more about higher knowledge and religion. But number 7, your sharing of deep philosophical information has more to do with moksha and the way out of the material world, and the deep-rooted knowledge that is not obvious to other people. It's almost the energy of the hermit that's carrying the lantern, right? He's very introspective and he knows truths that the rest of us do not. But I don't want you to emulate that energy where he's reclusive. You need to take your lantern and go out into the world and communicate all that you know and become a guide to other people so that they can live better lives in this material plane. Because you understand that we have to, be a part of the material world, but there is so much more after that. And so go out and communicate that to other people and be there for them on their paths. Then number 8 in the court of numbers is the judge. And so the judge sees all, but he is fair. And so you need to implement these things into your life. You need to be wise. And you need to make decisions, but do them fairly and with compassion and with justice. You are not going to pick sides. You instead are going to step back and assess the entire situation, whether it's at home or work. And you're going to hand down a fair understanding to others of what is really happening. And you're going to stand for what is fair. There may be something happening in your life where people are afraid to stand up for what is right, but you are not going to do that because you're a judge and you don't let challenges stand in your way of doing what is right. You make decisions based on fairness and balance. And so you need to really implement this in your life and because you are wise. And so let this shine onto the world. And then finally, number 9 is represented by the general. And so the general essentially does take orders from the king, but don't think of these as taking orders from people in that sense. Think of it as you are there to help others. You are there on the battlefield that we call life, helping other people. And you do have light shining upon you because the sun does shine his light onto the general. And so what you do will be recognized. Also, the general is very humanitarian, right? If one of his men is hurt in the battlefield, he is not going to leave them there to suffer. He's going to pick everyone up. He sees all of his men as equal. And thus, number 9 is very humanitarian. And so you need to implement that in your life. Don't look at people based, on how much money they have or how they look. You're going to treat everyone the same with the compassion and humanitarianism that is inside of you. So that was just a quick explanation of all of the numbers within the royal court. Are you following your destiny number?